Yo, what is going on, guys? And welcome back to 365 Analytics. And today it is week two, the start of week two, July 7th, and we are starting our offensive rankings today. Starting off with offensive line, we will have our top 10 offensive line rankings today. I'm gonna bang out this video, and then College Football 26 came out today, so I'm gonna play that a little bit later, have some fun with that, start a dynasty. I'm thinking about using Delaware um, and some different teams in college football. So I'm gonna have some fun playing that today. But we're gonna get this done first with our offensive line rankings. So I'm not gonna yap anymore. If you guys do enjoy, please like, subscribe. That would all be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's get right into the rankings. Starting off at the number 10 spot on the list, we have Minnesota Vikings offensive tackle Christian Darrisaw. Been one of the most solid players in the league for a few years now. He comes in at number 10 on the list. Had some injury issues last season, went out for the season in the Thursday night football game against the Los Angeles Rams. Cam Robinson ended up stepping in as Minnesota's temporary offensive tackle, but when healthy, he is an absolute beast. He comes in at number 10 on the list. Coming in at the number 9 position on the list is newly acquired offensive guard for the Chicago Bears, Joe Tooney. Multiple time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots and Kansas City Chiefs now. He's won, I think, 4 Super Bowls at this point, so a very, very accomplished player stepping in on the Chicago Bears offensive line, and a guy that Ben Johnson really is needed to upgrade that Bears offensive line and block for Caleb Williams. When he's at guard, he is absolutely a beast. In my opinion, I think he comes at number 2 among guards on this list. I think I only have one guard above him in the National Football League. He comes in at number 9 on the list. And coming in at number 8 on the list, in my opinion, the best guard in the National Football League. Still relatively young, still has some great football ahead of him. It is Atlanta Falcons guard Chris Lindstrom. Again, another guy who's been one of the pinnacle of offensive linemen in the league for a few years now. He's got a new contract extension a few years ago, and he is the Falcons franchise piece at the right guard. Can play both guard positions and is one of the best in the entire National Football League, coming in at the number 1 guard spot and number 8 on the list, Chris Lindstrom. Couldn't find any film room or highlight tapes of him, so we have an NFL Top 100 compilation here posted by the NFL in 2022. At number 7 on the list, it is Chargers offensive tackle Rashawn Slater. Was drafted out of Northwestern, former Northwestern guard, former Northwestern tackle, former first round pick, now the number 1 blocker for Justin Herbert, and one of the best in the league. It is Rashawn Slater. This guy, Herbert deeply needed him. When Justin Herbert came in the league, he had zero offensive line help. There's a clip of him blocking Alex Highsmith right there, an absolute staple on the Chargers offensive line. Now with Joe Alt on the other side of him, Herbert is going to have some elite blockers for years to come. At number 7 on the list, Rashawn Slater. Coming in at number 6, and in my opinion, the best center in the National Football League, and sadly, he plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. Former second round pick, Patrick Mahomes, the staple on his offensive line. It is Creed Humphrey. As I said, the number 1 overall center on this list. The rest are tackles in the top 5. This guy, since he entered the league, in my opinion, since the jump, since his rookie year, he's clearly been the best center in football, and it was one of the most predictable things ever. A Kansas City Chiefs draft pick, second round pick, had a lot of upside, and he comes in at number 6 on the list. Coming in with the top 5 starting now, we have 5 consecutive NFC tackles to talk about. At number 5, we have Eagles right tackle Lane Johnson, now a 2-time Super Bowl champion, won in 2017 with the team, or was it 2018? I think that was the year. Yeah, it was 2018 where they beat the Patriots. Now a 2-time Super Bowl champion as they just beat the Chiefs. Past 30 years old now, has declined a little bit, but is still a staple, still a former All-Pro, and still one of the best tackles in the National Football League. At number 5, Eagles offensive tackle Lane Johnson. And at number 4, we have a guy who was once considered, or for a very, very long time considered, the best offensive lineman overall in the National Football League. It's a future Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. Former Washington Redskin / Washington football team, or I don't know if he played for the football team, but former Washington Redskin, now a San Francisco 49er, been a 49er for a few years now. Long time considered the best offensive lineman in the league. It is Trent Williams. As I said, future Hall of Famer. Has declined a little bit. 2024 was not as elite as he has previously been, but I believe he's 37 or 38 years old now. I dealt with some injury issues last season. Wasn't as hard nosed and elite, but is still one of the best tackles in the league as he comes in at number 4. Coming in at the number 3 position, starting off the top 3, is the best run blocker, pure run blocker in the National Football League, and I don't think there's really a debate about it. It is former first round pick out of Oregon, Lions offensive tackle, right tackle, Penei Sewell. As a Bengals fan, I know this guy very well. In 2021, we had the big draft debate among Bengals social media. Who was the pick, Jamar Chase or Penei Sewell? And both of them turned out elite. Penei Sewell is doing his thing with the Lions, clearly the right pick for them. Not even a single debate about it. He's been arguably you can argue he's been the best tackle in the league since he's entered. I don't believe that, but you can argue that, and he's definitely been the best pure run blocker. As you see the two Lions running backs with Montgomery and Gibbs as the duo. He comes in at number 3 on the list. Another guy I couldn't find a film breakdown or a highlight tape for on YouTube, but in my opinion is the second best offensive lineman in the entire National Football League. Can play both tackles, has previously played left tackle and right tackle. Can play both in wherever the Buccaneers need to play him at both tackle positions. At number 2, it is Tristan Wirfs, can run block, can pass block. And there's Lane Johnson talking about him with a top 100 clip. This guy, in my opinion, is a future Hall of Famer. Been nothing but a staple for the Buccaneers offensive line since he was drafted. Obviously, people might remember on draft night the pool jump, the infamous Tristan Wirfs pool jump, where he like jumped out of the pool onto the side. It was like a big jump. It was a crazy, crazy jump and an athletic move for a guy at that size. At number 2, it is Buccaneers offensive lineman and now a franchise cornerstone, Tristan Wirfs. And coming in as the best offensive lineman in the entire National Football League, tackle, guard, or center, the former 7th round draft pick, the former rugby player, and an absolute steal by Howie Roseman and the Eagles. At number, I believe it was 233 overall in the 7th round of the NFL draft. It is Philadelphia Eagles left tackle Jordan Mailata. Obviously, everybody knows how good the Eagles' offensive line is. We already talked about Lane Johnson. When I recap the list in a second here, we have another Eagles offensive lineman at number 15. Jeff Stoutland absolutely works wonders with these guys, and Lane Johnson is no different. I mean, Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata are no different in that sense. This guy is an elite pass blocker, an elite run blocker. You just see him absolutely lay that cowboy out right there. Clearing the lane for Saquon Barkley, and now he is a Super Bowl champion at the best offensive lineman in the entire National Football League, Jordan Mailata. And to recap the entire list in full, I did my top 15 on the spreadsheet, presented my top 10 in the video. But to recap, obviously 1 through 10, Jordan Mailata, Tristan Wirfs, Penei Sewell, Trent Williams, Lane Johnson, 5 NFC tackles to start off the top 5. And I had Creed Humphrey, Sean Slater, Chris Lindstrom, Joe Tooney, and Christian Darrisaw in the top 10. Outside of the top 10, 11 through 15, Tyler Linderbaum, Justin Mississippi, the Baltimore Ravens center, Quinn Miners of the Denver Broncos has stemmed into a really, really good offensive lineman in the past few years now. Andrew Thomas, who will be a little bit higher on this list if it wasn't for the injury issues he has, still rock solid with the Giants. Laramie Tunsil, who declined a little bit, had a lot of penalties this past year, still sneaks in the top 15 though. And as I said, at number 15, Landon Dickerson of the Philadelphia Eagles, with the honorable mentions being Quentin Nelson, Trey Smith, Tyler Smith, Dion Dawkins, and 2 rookies, or 2 second-year guys this past season were rookies. Dominic Puny of the Niners and Zach Frazier of the Steelers. So yeah, that is your 2025 offensive line rankings right there, being day 6, Monday, July 7th. Again, we will be back tomorrow night, same time, 8 o'clock Eastern, with my tight end rankings. I assume we'll be the top 10 tight ends in the National Football League. Obviously, everybody knows see names like George Kittle, Trey McBride, and Travis Kelsey, and a bunch more. If you guys enjoy, please like, subscribe. That would all be greatly appreciated. Without further ado, I will see y'all tomorrow night with the tight end rankings. Have a good night.